Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the All-Star Open. For the 2005 season, we got Jamie McMurray on pole, Carl Edwards to his outside, Casey Kane, Bobby Labonte. It's a short one, only 15 laps. These guys are going to be aggressive. NASCAR is testing a new aero package, new-ish aero package. They tried something very similar last season and the year before. They are developing the next generation of car. Set to debut in 2008. It was just announced a few minutes ago. The next generation of NASCAR Cup car will be brought to you in 2008. So we're about a third way through the 2005 season. So that means we got the rest of this year. We have 2006, 2007. So we got about 2.5 years left of this car before we jump to the next generation of race car. NASCAR's push is for safety. The teams want, safety as well. What happened to Terry Labonte in that five car actually was, really disappointing. And, we should have these, NASCAR racing is always dangerous, but NASCAR wants these cars to be safer for the drivers, but so they are developing this car with safety in mind, also for effective. Right now, these cars are built track specific. NASCAR wants to make the cars more broad, make them drive more similar. It doesn't matter if you're on a road course, short track, super speedway, or a speedway. They want the cars to drive very similar. So with this new generation of car, it'll be basically a flat surface, brand new playing field, which will put the teams way closer together, which means crew chiefs, drivers are going to be more important than ever for the difference. I still think Hendrick, Gibbs is getting up in there now, but I think Roush, Penske, Hendrick, those guys are still going to be your top teams. But NASCAR is now going in a direction. I think you could see the car on track as early as maybe next year's All-Star race, maybe to help further develop the car. NASCAR, could decide either 2007 or 2008. They went ahead and picked 2008 to make sure the car was correctly developed and they didn't have to rush. But with that being said, let's go over your starting lineup. This is the happy hour times. This is a drafty package. Um, as you see there, Mike Skinner actually had an engine expire during qualifying. He started from the back. But yeah, if in order to race your way into the All-Star race, you got to win this race.
Drivers, to your cars.
There's the cars getting called to their other drivers are being called to their cars. It's only 15 laps. It is a very short race. I think chassis and aero are super duper important, and momentum matters a lot in this type of racing. I think having a good engine is very important, but I mean, you got McMurray, Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, Bobby Labonte, Robbie Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Travis Kvapil, Elliott Tyler, just to name a few. Kurt Busch starting from deep. Blaney, Marlin, Michael Waltrip's back there somewhere. There are so many good names in this field, but only one can be a 2005 All-Star. Alrighty, who will be a part of the 2005 All-Star lineup? Let's find out. But first, get the command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's our famous words right there as these engines fire. So we'll go ahead and pull up that, make sure there's no failures, and the cars will begin to roll, following the pace car. Oops. Your last roll will be Ken Schrader to his outside, Mike Skinner. Then we got Jack Sprague and Ward Burton. Jerry Nadeau flipped last week at Richmond, if you can believe it. Starting his inside, Michael Waltrip. Then we got Kyle Petty, Bill Elliott. Sterling Marlin, Ward Burton. Then we got Kenny Wallace, Kurt Busch. A lot of firepower in this row. Then we got Dave Blaney, Jeff Green. Buckshot Jones, rookie Coy Gibbs, trying to be a part of the All-Star lineup as a rookie. Then we got Elliott Sadler and Travis Kvapil. Then we got Dale Jarrett, Robbie Gordon, Casey Kane, another rookie, and Bobby Labonte. And finally, Jamie McMurray's on pole, and another rookie, Carl Edwards, started to his outside. No cheating in the All-Star race, no injuries, so if something spectacular happens, no one will get hurt. Just 15 laps and a spot in the All-Star race is all that's on the line here. We've got Dodge, Ford, Chevy, Ford, Dodge in your top six. I think McMurray was fast in this race too. I forget who transferred. I will look that up quick. But in the meantime, pace car is on pit road. McMurray's in control of the field. And we are racing in the 2005 All-Star Open. So yeah, last year was Brian Vickers won the All-Star Open. Oh, we got a wreck already! Huge crash! That's everybody, pretty much. Someone got clipped and turned, and McMurray is going to try and run back to the line to be the first one there. Casey Kane trying to get a run, trying to get the draft. Nothing doing there. McMurray will bring us back to the flag. Huge crash down here. Brian Vickers and Terry Labonte both won the Opens the last 2 seasons. But let's go take a look at this start here. I mean, it was right off the bat. Ooh, Robbie Gordon right there. Tried to make a move on Bobby Labonte. Oh, man. Michael Waltrip seemed to be making through, or seemed to make it through. Yeah, it looked like Bobby Labonte, there was a gap on the inside. Robbie Gordon looked like he tried to make a move and was getting pushed by Quapple at the same time. Right there, and that turned to Labonte, down into Jarrett, up into Carl Edwards, Buckshot Jones, Dave Blaney, Kenny Wallace, Nadeau, Sprague, Kyle Petty, Andretti survive, Quapple's torn up, Elliott Sadler's torn up, Edwards. Michael Waltrip may have gotten some damage, but not a lot. Bill Elliott survives, Ward Burton, Bush. But we'll jump to live here, and we'll get this caution cleaned up, and we'll get back racing. Here's that restart. There was a caution. I guess I missed the play button, but McMurray, Coy Gibbs down here, Jeff Green, Kurt Busch, they all kind of played bumper tag. They survived. But back here, Kyle Petty and John Andretti were getting held up by Edwards. And Kyle Petty just could not get off of John Andretti. And Andretti went for a pretty wild ride down the front stretch after contact from Labonte. Then eventually Dave Blaney sent him around. But yeah, McMurray continues to be the leader. We'll pick you up when we go back green. So here comes the pace car off of turn 4. We've been doing a ton of crashing, not a lot of racing. Hopefully McMurray and the rest of this field can get their act together. We got 5 laps to go. Can Coy Gibbs, Jeff Green, maybe Kurt Busch, Casey Kane, can they get around McMurray and win this race? A great jump from Gibbs, a great jump from Green. They're going to split. One go high, one go low. McMurray's going to cover low. Coy Gibbs is not going to have any help up top. That's going to allow Busch. Huge run from Green to the back end of McMurray. They nearly spin down the back. They catch it and save it. Here comes Kurt Busch with a huge run. He's going to help Jeff Green. Bill Elliott has a big run. He doesn't know what to do with it, so he's going to tuck in behind Kurt Busch. Help from Ward Burton. Jeff Green can't get going. Kurt Busch is going to look for a run around. Huge run down the front stretch. McMurray tried to block, couldn't block it. Jeff Green goes to the lead in that Zero Haas car. Coy Gibbs gets tight. Casey Kane has to lift. Kurt Busch is on the bottom. Coy Gibbs is going to drop down back behind McMurray. Jeff Green is checking out, but with this high downforce, low horsepower package, that's going to allow Kurt Busch to get a big run here. It's weird to see these cars race like this, but we got 3 to go. Kurt Busch has a huge run. He's going to make a move. And if these guys wreck, likely that'll be race over, and they're 3 wide back here. McMurray pinching Elliott. As Kurt Busch makes the pass, they're 3 wide for 5th and 6th back there. Michael Waltrip's now clear. Here comes Kane. Coy Gibbs, Jeff Green, all following Kurt Busch, and they're battling hard back there. Marlin and McMurray. McMurray, I'd say, has lost the handle on this race. 2 to go this time by. Coy Gibbs trying to hold off Casey Kane. He wants to be in the driver's seat. He wants to have a good run. He wants to be the one with the momentum, and he wants to make the late move. He's going to make a move on Jeff Green. They can't jockey too much for second, because that's going to allow Kurt Busch to run away, and I Guarantee you that 97 is fast. Gibbs and Casey Kane clear. Jeff Green. White flag is out. One more time around for Kurt Busch. What can Coy Gibbs do? Purple versus purple. If they get tangled up, Casey Kane's in third. Michael Waltrip, he's laying back there. He may want to look for a run. But here comes Coy Gibbs. He's going to have a massive draft, a huge run down the backstretch. Does Coy Gibbs make the move? Casey Kane's going to have a run on Gibbs. Gibbs got tight. He has to check up. That might be enough for Kurt Busch. Off a turn for Kurt Busch will qualify for the 2005 All-Star race. Only 14 cars finished that race. Kurt Busch was your winner. He qualified into the show. So congratulations to Kurt Busch. We'll see you when you get back to the All-Star race. Welcome back to Lowe's Motor Speedway here in Charlotte, North Carolina for the All-Star race. We got 17 cars lined up here, ready to go. The All-Star Open just finished. We had a quick practice warm-up. We had a quick qualifying session. Kurt Busch will be starting from the rear. Trying to get a good camera view. Then we got Casey Mears, Dale Earnhardt Jr., a couple winners from last season. The only driver to qualify for this race, to win this season, was Tony Stewart. Now, how to qualify for this race? You had to win a race from 2005. You also had to win a race from either 2004, from the Coke 600 to the end of this season, or from Daytona this season until Richmond last week, when Tony Stewart, buzzer beater style, was able to win his way into the race. We got Matt Kenseth on pole, Jeff Burton there, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, and Greg Biffle. This race is broken up into 3 different segments, 10, 10, 6. So without further ado, let's get this race rolling.
Drivers, start your engines!
I'd say that was all-star command to fire engines. As Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton roll off pit road. Again, we got 10 laps. Then we'll throw a yellow, re-rack them, do a quickie yellow. Then we'll do another 10 laps, re-rack them again, and then we'll finish the race with a 6-lap segment, resulting in 30 laps after all the caution laps are done. But we'll take a look here. We got some special paint schemes. Tony Stewart there, I believe that's a Kapow or a Kaboom Home Depot car. He actually won in it last week. National Guard and posted on Greg Biffle there. Then we got Casey Atwood. Remember, he won at Michigan last season, Mobile One. Then we got a Dodge alternate paint scheme. Then we got Ryan Newman in Mobile One as well. Their teammate Robbie Gordon, who actually failed to qualify for this race. He was also in a Mobile One car. Ricky Rudd in Air Force, a little out of the Wood Brothers normal colors, but he ran this scheme last week in Richmond. Then we got Dale Jr. 3 doors down. Crown Royal, you can expect him to see that purple around more often. Terry Labonte, he won one of the last 5 All-Star races. So good to see him back. Great to see him in a race car. Injuries are not a thing in this race. It's an exhibition race. But yeah, pace car rolls on the pit road. We got Roush on the front row, and we are green from Charlotte. As Johnson immediately takes Gordon and Stewart 3 wide for third. Hopefully we can get some green flag racing in, unlike the Open, as Mayfield immediately turns Mark Martin into Biffle. Casey Atwood around, huge crash to start off. And whoever can win the race back to the line is going to have a huge advantage in control of this race. And Matt Kenseth will do just that. There's Biffle, Mark Martin, Casey Atwood with only 3 cars to get tore up. 2 years ago, Kevin Harvick won this race, and Matt Kenseth won it last season. So here we go, right off the start, we had Mayfield turn Mark Martin into Atwood. Ooh, looks like, yeah, Mayfield just got too aggressive with the bump draft. Turned the 6, got him up the hill, and just hooked him. We'll jump back to live here, look at this yellow finished, and we'll get back racing. Alrighty, we are going down the backstretch, coming to completion of lap 4. Greg Biffle will not be a 2005 All-Star, but Casey Atwood will be back there with damage, so will Greg Biffle. Um, yeah, hopefully in the coming years, NASCAR does not make these races kind of like a lottery. Hopefully a lot of it is the driver. You know, they have a lot of responsibility about lifting, but I mean, this segments are only 10 laps, and you got to get control of this race. But we'll have to see if they can if the drivers can hold themselves and can contain themselves with the aggression. But anyways, we are back green. Matt Kenseth leading us to green. Jeff Burton gets a great jump in second. Does he make a move for the lead down into 1? Yes, he does. So does Vickers to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. They draw even through 1. Vickers goes from 4th to 3rd, looking for 2nd now on Matt Kenseth. Momentum in this style of racing is so big. These runs that these guys get in the pack, in the draft, are absolutely massive. As you see, this whole pack is just all over each other. Mayfield just can't get a run around the top, checking up Harvick, and they're 3 wide down in there. Hasey Mears kind of caught in the middle. Kurt Busch is going to roll the bottom. I don't know if Kevin Harvick knew they were 3 wide because Kurt Busch filled the hole so quickly. Now Casey Mears gets tight. He's got a lift. Now Matt Kenseth, who did lose the lead, he's going to get back into the lead. Help from Jimmy Johnson on the bottom. Vickers and Burton up top. Off of turn 4, Matt Kenseth will resume the lead. Yeah, we were only 3 laps away from the completion of the first segment. Johnson's in 3rd, looking for 2nd to the inside. Tony Stewart got really tight. That's going to check up Newman. We know Newman in the draft is very, very good with restrictor plates. Back-to-back 500 champion. Newman got a shot from Ricky Rudd. Got to the back end of Stewart. Had to pull up the track not to wreck. Jeff Gordon has to give the position up. Now through comes Ricky Rudd. Help from Terry Labonte. Is now Jimmy Johnson's lining up Matt Kenseth. He's trying to get a run here. Jeff Burton's trying to catch Jimmy Johnson. Johnson's got a huge run. He's going to look to the inside. Burton's going with him. Kenseth down to block. Wasn't able to cover. Johnson is there. But so was Burton. Matt Kenseth is able to lift. And if you don't make the move, someone's going to make it for you. With Brian Vickers and Tony Stewart bump drafting here at Charlotte. That's not how you spell. As this will be the completion of segment 1. Matt Kenseth dominating. Remember, he won this race 1 year ago. Newman to the back end is Stewart. He's going to lift and give him breathing room. Yellow flag is out for the end of this segment. It's going to go to Matt Kenseth. See the field flying by there. But we'll pick the field up and we'll go racing for segment 2. So there's some confusion here. They're supposed to go back racing, but the pace car is still on pit road. I don't know if the pace car knows they're supposed to pit, and we're going back green, but the pace car is still on the track. Look out. Matt Kenseth is going to lose all of his track position. Nobody wrecked somehow, but it'll be Jimmy Johnson, your leader. No, Brian Vickers with the lead. Well, good thing that there's another segment. Hopefully the pace car can make it back to pit road. NASCAR is going to throw another yellow. Oh my gosh, what in the confusion? As Vickers and Johnson are going to lead us back to the yellow as the pace car is doing 55 down here. These guys are going to have to really check up not to run everybody over. So they're hoping for another quickie caution. What the heck? Alrighty, so we are on lap 15 now, technically halfway through the race, but NASCAR said that they will go to lap 22 and throw the caution. That's when the yellow will come out for the end of segment 2 because of all the confusion that happened here. So, and then they all come out and they'll have a 6-lap dash, around a 6-lap dash to the finish. But as they come through 3 and 4, it'll be Brian Vickers, Johnson, Ricky Rudd, Casey Mears, Kurt Busch, your top 5. They did pit under that last segment. Dale Jr. is blowing up on the apron. Matt Kenseth, you see there, did lose all his track position. And we are green. A great jump from Johnson. Can he find his way around his teammate? And it'll be interesting. Junior in the background does get to pit road safely. We'll have to see if Matt Kenseth can get his way through this field by the end of it. And something tells me we're not done wrecking. Ricky Rudd has been really fast the last couple weeks. Can he win the 2005 All-Star race? As Kurt Busch is going to line up behind Ricky Rudd. They're both going to look to the inside of Vickers by corner exit. Johnson is clear. As Vickers is able to get into the draft of his teammate, we're able to hold off the 21 and the 97. There's a big bump draft is coming from Kurt Busch. He's going to be pushing the 21 down the backstretch. Vickers has a run. He's going to look to the inside. Ricky Rudd's getting pushed up the track from Kurt Busch. They both have to lift. That's going to allow Casey Mears, Tony Stewart. Someone's got to make a move. Kurt Busch is going to peek out. Now Tony Stewart's pushing Casey Mears down the front stretch. Now Casey's going to tuck in behind Kurt Busch. Look how tight this racing is. Kurt Busch has to lift, not to run over the 25. That's going to check everybody up. So now back there you see Matt Kenseth looking to the inside of the 44. The 6 does have damage. So now Vickers going to have a really big run on his teammate. Where does he go with it? Inside, outside? Or is he just going to push him, trying to push him clear? So where it's just those two battling out. He's going to hang a left down here into 1. Here comes Kurt Busch. He's going to have a really big run. Drafting off the 25. Does he make it 3 wide off into turn 3? Or does he help the 25 past the 48? He's going to push the 25 into the turn 3. Here comes Casey Mears sitting in 4th, looking to the inside of Johnson. Kurt Busch has a run. The All-Star Open winner is going for the lead in the All-Star race. Tony Stewart makes a move to the inside of Mears. Yeah, Dale Jr. has officially called it. He is now out of this race. A terrible 2005 continues on. There goes Johnson to the inside of Kurt Busch. The top 3 seem to separate themselves. Kurt Busch, I don't know if you didn't see it. I don't know if it was a late move there or what happened, but Johnson might be clear of Busch, looking back to the lead of the 25 car. Now these guys will be racing back to the yellow, back to the end of segment 2. Johnson's going to have a big run as long as Kurt Busch doesn't make the move. Busch is shading the headlight there, kind of letting Johnson know, hey, I'm thinking about it. If you don't make the move, I'm going to make it for you. Kurt Busch is going to bump draft Johnson off into turn 3. He's going to have a big run on Vickers. Can Vickers defend? Johnson's going to hang it out at the line. It'll be Vickers. And then once we go back green here, we're going to have an all-out sprint to the finish. I must have missed the pause button because I've been yelling and screaming this whole time and didn't even push record. But anyway, we're back under green. Vickers gets a great jump over Johnson. Kurt Busch looks to the inside. Here goes Mears. Harvick and Burton make a move to the inside of Stewart. They're 3 wide. Stewart slams Harvick and Burton. I don't think he was too happy with them taking advantage of him sleeping. They're 3 wide on the exit. No damage. They seem to be okay. Here comes Mayfield looking to the inside of Stewart as well. Newman, there's Matt Kenseth. Jeff Gordon's back in there. Unable to have the track position, but now they're going to be side by side, Jimmy Johnson and Kurt Busch. Here comes Mears with a run. Trying to get help right there. A little bit of contact. Burton pushes Mears up. Mears has to lift. That's going to allow Kurt Busch to pull away. as they're going to try and catch up to Brian Vickers. He's going to give Johnson the draft. They're clear of Mears. Mears can't quite get clear of Burton. Here comes Jeff Burton. He's going to have a really big run. We know that 99 is quicker than the 41. He's now clear. Does Harvick make the move on Casey Mears? Not quite. As these three are all drafting up, that was 4 to go at the line. Here they come off turn 2. These guys are going to slinky together. They're going to accordion together. They're going to be nose to tail down the backstretch. Who makes the move first? Kurt Busch makes the move. There was contact. Jimmy Johnson nearly wrecked Kurt Busch. Going off into 3. They're going to be side by side off turn 4. Vickers scoots out ahead. 3 to go. Johnson may be looking high to help a teammate. Jeff Burton looking low to help his teammate. Roush on the bottom, Hendrick up top. Brian Vickers squeezing Kurt Busch on the inside. 2 aggressive drivers battling side by side. Down the backstretch, Johnson's losing touch of the 25. It's going to be 97-99 versus the 25. Brian Vickers has found something up top. He seems to be very comfortable up there. As he's now clear of Kurt Busch, Jeff Burton's looking to see what the 25 has been up to, see if he can't try and get a run. But if a yellow comes out, it'll be the end of the race. Johnson is shoving Kurt Busch, trying to get him going. Busch is now clear for second. He's trying to get a run on the 25. That 25 car is looking pretty stout, but they're going to have the draft if Johnson does not make a move on Busch. And if they're all alone, Busch might have a run here on Vickers. White flag is out, final lap. We've seen Vickers defend before. We know he's really good under pressure. What can he do here in the All-Star race? Through 1 and 2, one final time. Johnson's going to have a big run. Does he make the move? He does. Kurt Busch will not be looking for that. They're going to throw it off into turn 3. One final time. Busch tries to defend. Johnson has to lift. And that is music to Brian Vickers' ears off of turn 4. And it's going to be Brian Vickers, winner in the 2005 All-Star race. Kurt Busch did end up finishing second. Let me go and find these guys down here. Kurt Busch did finish second over Johnson. Jeff Burton 4th. And 5th will be Tony Stewart. He's been on a roll here recently. But it's all congratulations to Brian Vickers. At the line here, it was Kurt Busch over Johnson by that much. Tony Stewart pretty much by himself. Matt Kenseth rallied to 6th. And then something happened down here between Gordon and Kevin Harvick. What happened down in here where all these guys lost all these spots? So this was with 2 laps to go, going through 1 and 2. Kevin Harvick was 5th right there. And he pitted, so did Gordon. I'm not sure if they were maybe short, tried stretching it. But here are your official results here. And the next race, we were off to the Coke 600, the longest night in stock car racing, one of the crown jewels of NASCAR. But I will be taking a little break here, going on vacation. Recorded, I think I just posted California. So I've got 3 or 4 videos to disperse in and through there. Took a little break before this. Probably, I don't think I uploaded for like a week or 2, whatever it was. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. Honestly, it was kind of a lackluster all-star race. I'll probably end up changing the package up a little bit. But yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you for the Coke 600.